Bismillah Rahman Rahim. This is Dr. Jamal Muhammad Khan from the Department of Parasitology, Kurdistan University of Veterinary and Animal Sciences, Bahawalpur, Pakistan. I'm recording this video for my presentation, which I presented on this date 16th of September 2025. This presentation series was presented in the syndicate venue of our university upon the directions of the worthy Vice Chancellor. I was and I am thankful to all my colleagues who showed patience and they spared time to attend my presentation. The title of my presentation is A Robust Biosecurity Promising a Biosecured Region. The contents of the presentation includes the biosecurity overview, biosecurity and environment, biosecurity and economy, biosecurity and geopolitics, artificial intelligence impacting culture and religious dimensions, conclusion, and future policy suggestions. Overview of the biosecurity. What is biosecurity? Biosecurity refers to a set of preventive measures designed to reduce the risk of transmission of infectious diseases and biological threats to animals, humans, and the environment. It encompasses the policies, procedures, and regulations. It involves human and animal health. It involves the environmental biodiversity and the national economy. If we study the biosecurity in a flowchart diagram, I would divide it into the parts like environment, economy, geopolitics, artificial intelligence, cultural and religious factors, educational research, and data sharing. So, with the environmental changes and biosecurity, whenever the human activities like fossil burning, deforestation, forest fires, when human encroaches the natural flora and fauna of the wildlife, what happens? Those infectious deadly viruses, bacteria, parasites, agents, they get access to the human lives, the human areas, and the livestock population and the other animals population. And these deadly vicious virus bacteria then turn fatal. We have seen the cases of COVID, we have seen the cases of malaria and other diseases which have become pandemic, which have spread globally, and they have cost millions of life. So we need to work on the human activities which are disturbing the environmental stability. We need to make sure that these environmental changes are pro human life, pro animal life. We need to make sure that the biosecurity is not disturbed. The policies which could be made are eco surveillance, plantation of the local trees, wildlife monitoring, and waste regulation. Biosecurity is interconnected with the environment and the climate change. They all are interconnected. When there's a climate change, the temperature, the average global temperature, it rises. For example, in Pakistan for last 10 years, the average temperature has risen to 12%. So this is a significant increase, and this has led to several complex issues in Pakistani society, in Pakistani villages, in Pakistani life, in Pakistani flora and fauna, in Pakistani environment, in Pakistani atmosphere. For example, it has caused into untimely rains, droughts, floods, wildlife, windstorms, and plants' productivity had decreased, and the pests and pathogens have increased into the plants. Wildlife, extreme events like forest fire, floods, habitat loss. For example, in Australia, when there was 5 years ago, 7 years ago, when there was a forest fire, bushfire killed 800 million animals, and some of them are on the extinction risk. Animals, low production, milk production decreases, meat production decreases, more infection comes, human heat-related illness, vector-borne diseases, displacement, economic losses. It all includes because the biosecurity is compromised due to the changes in the environment, due to the changes in the climate change. So the other thing is economic prosperity. We need to make sure that the economy of the country, it runs in a natural way, not in an unnatural way. When we are building the economy on an unnatural way, for a short time the economy will boost, will become good, but we will compromise the biosecurity. When the biosecurity is compromised, the human health is compromised, the animal health is compromised, the plant, the agriculture is compromised. So in the longer run, the GDP and those sources which we have earned from the short time earning are spent on taken care of the issues which were human based. So we, our policymakers and those who are at the helm of affair, they need to work on this. They need to make sure that a dedicated budget for the biotech investment in emergency funds. Geopolitics and biosecurity. Geopolitics involves when the superpowers, they attack the other countries for the oil. For example, USA, they have attacked the Venezuela, Iraq, just for the oil, just to have a control on the oil. And Afghanistan was bombed with the Daisy Cutter and the deadly bombs. What happened the next year, in the coming year? Temperature in the surrounding countries, it rose, and now there's a huge problem. So biosecurity plays a great role in making the geopolitics plays an important role in shaping the biosecurity of the region. Artificial intelligence plays a very important role in the biosecurity. We need to have smart intelligence to make sure that these tools are used for surveillance. These use are used for the detection and the prediction of the disease and other uh, other environment related problems coming. So cultural and religious dimension. In culture, for example, in Pakistani culture, in the northwestern parts, the people are allergic from getting the polio vaccine, and then there happened some events which connected the polio vaccination coming in confrontation with their local culture. So we need to make sure that biosecurity and the practices and the health practices are not in confrontation with the local culture and norms and everything. So we need to have to solve this problem, we need to involve the religious people, religious engagement, cultural awareness campaigns, because it is affected by misinformation, illiteracy, traditional practices. Educational and research institute, we need to empower, we need to start a flow of funding toward the universities, toward the research institutions. We need to develop the course and curriculum, those which we should make sure that is updated, it is interconnected, and it is a global course, so that we can study and we can find the solution of the existing and the current future coming diseases. In conclusion, we can say that the biosecurity is essential for safeguarding human and animal health, agriculture, economies, and the environmental biodiversity. It requires an integrated approach, considering environmental, economic, geopolitical, technological, and cultural factors. Strong biosecurity system depends on international cooperation, early detection methods, and capacity building to address evolving biological threats and bioterrorism. Future policy suggestion, we need to implement a robust bioweapon system verification system. We need to centralize the export controls on dual use biomaterials. We need to create a regional SCO biosecurity council. We need to develop a common codes of conduct and ethical frameworks for emerging the biothreats. And finally, I am really thankful to all the audience, and I'm thankful to my university, and I'm thankful to all the colleagues who came. That this was all from my side regarding the biosecurity and safety. I wish all of you best luck, and if there's a query, I will leave my email address. You can contact me via my email. I will respond as soon as possible. Have a good day. Yours obediently, Dr. Jamal Muhammad Khan.